And we got
Good morning,
Morgan.
everybody.
It's
Happy
What's up,
NASCAR.
NASCAR
guys? How you
Sunday.
doing?
We got NASCAR Sunday. How's everyone doing today? We are
Yep.
live right now, but we are always
Nice,
recording. We're always recording for you guys, so we'll have it posted. Sorry we
nice.
missed yesterday, but it's okay. Was there anything crazy yesterday?
No, not really crazy out of the ordinary, but we have, hockey and basketball lining up towards the playoffs.
Yeah.
Even though the Rangers lost to the Lightning, we just went on and beat Boston and Florida back to back. So
Yeah.
the other top two teams in the Eastern Division, we beat them back to back, and we did a little bit well with that.
Yeah.
So now, as of right this minute, we have the most points in the entire NHL by 1 point over like three teams. But
Wow.
we're the number one seed, and you guys are the Lightning are the. They have actually been the hottest team since
Yeah.
the All Star
We
break. You
lost
guys,
last night, but we did make it to the overtime, but we did
yeah.
lose.
So
But
you
hey,
still got a point.
we still got
Like
a point. That's big.
you guys have as of right now, it's gonna look like the Lightning might play the Rangers in the first round, but there's a lot to go. And like
Yeah.
I was talking about this with a couple of friends of mine at work who are all Lightning fans,
Yeah.
and I was like, I'm glad because the last few years, the team that won the President's Trophy that they kind of ran away with it. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like the teams that finished like number one, like with a week to go, like they already had it locked up. So the fact that there's like at least three teams in the East and then plus two teams in the West that are all around the same points, and we
Yeah.
don't know going into the last week of the season, that actually makes it really awesome because what it's telling you is even in the regular season, it's going to be just as even as the playoffs. So as
Yeah.
like any team could win and any team could, they're getting that, whoever gets the number one seed, it's not going to feel like the same number one seed. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
For sure. For sure.
So I feel like people always say, okay, the number one seed curse. It might not be that way this year because literally the number one, two, three, and four seeds might be divided by a total of like 3 points. You know what I mean? So like just like anything could happen in the playoffs. That's how it's going to be, and we might not know until the literally like the last two games of the season who's going to play who.
Yeah. For
So you
sure.
can't even
Yeah,
really prepare for any of that stuff.
some good
Um,
hockey right there.
it is, and like you can watch the games. It's a little bit more intense. Teams are starting to play a little bit more together. So Rangers, that was a big win for them. They were 0-2 against the Panthers in the regular season. You know, a couple of close losses, and then they
Yeah.
they won in overtime. So
Yeah, these 10:30 games,
where
man. 3 days
wow,
in a row for the Lightning, man. I'm falling asleep. I'm like, what the hell? 2 games. I watched the whole thing last night. I couldn't keep my eyes open. I woke up literally like multiple times while I was like trying to stay awake, and all of a sudden I look at the thing and it said 12 seconds left, and it said 3-3. I said, whoa, shit! I thought we lost because it was 1-3. So, but then
um,
they would take the point.
so the Knicks and Rangers both had home games, and they all played the same building. So that was pretty interesting. Knicks
Yeah,
played at 1 o'clock, and then the Rangers played at 8 o'clock. So that was
yeah. It only
they've
takes them
done
what,
that a
like
couple of
5 minutes
times.
to transfer the
It
stadium.
Right. So it's kind of cool when they do that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
But overall, the Knicks won two. They're playing well considering they lost one of their other OG Anunoby again for a couple more days just from soreness from his surgery.
yeah.
But they really found something with this. He's not a rookie, but he's their younger player. He's been on the roster for 3 years, but he really only started playing a little bit last year, and now they just threw him into the starting role, and they found something with it. I mean, they're beating the teams that they're supposed to beat,
Yeah.
but when you're missing so many starters, that that it happens where like that doesn't happen. Like you struggle against teams you're supposed to beat because you don't have the best
Yeah.
players. So the fact that they're actually still doing well and still kind of making their way. They still gonna have they have we have 12 games left. 7 of them are against teams that they are below them, and then there's 5 against teams above. We'll
Yeah.
see how that fares. Miami just lost a huge game at home.
Yeah,
Um,
they can't win at home, and it seems
well,
like, and it's with no Tyler Hero and no. This is what happened. What I tell you, like when they had the bad streak, that they're shooting
yeah,
threes when they shouldn't be, and I watched that game, and it's like watching these
I
guys
watched
that,
that.
yeah, it with no
The
Tyler
Pelicans
Hero
are
and
a good
no
team
fucking
though.
Duncan Robinson. Yeah, the Pelicans are good, But when you're like literally at the first quarter, they were 2 for 15, and they're still shooting threes. That's a bad recipe. You got to go in the hole. Jimmy Butler wasn't in there, so very
Yeah,
bad play.
they came back late, but
Yeah,
first of all, Pelicans are a really good team.
yeah, they are.
One thing is Miami just doesn't have a lot of scoring, so like they
No,
have to they and
yeah,
when you don't have a lot of scoring, what happens is you start chucking up threes,
yeah,
and if you don't hit them
yeah,
psychologically, and they talk about this, it affected their defense, and then they just didn't fucking play defense. So like
dude.
you
When you
literally, if you don't have enough scoring, you just have to spend the whole game just grinding it out on defense,
the
and
Yep.
the
it is what it
chances,
is.
yeah, the chances of you
Um,
getting a rebound after a three are usually very slim because of how that bounce comes off the rim.
right.
Yep.
When you go into the hole and you go in there, it's kind of like a baby bounce. So when the three go ding, and then
Yeah.
they go, oh, they're like, oh, I got it. You know what I mean? So if you're missing 15 to 16 threes in the first, I'm shocked that they were up so much at one point. You know what I mean? But if they
Yeah.
would have just went in the hole a little bit more, they would have won that game. But you're right. It psyched them out. They couldn't make a fucking three to save the life. Like they were making. One guy came in there and he was just shooting. He was the only one making threes. Even the announcer was like, "Oh, finally someone can make a three. No one can make a three. That ball is not
Right.
going anywhere next to the hoop." I'm like, "Yep,
Yeah.
this shit happens." But
So
but they need to win
after the
some of these games.
after the game, the coach and Jimmy Butler called out the team publicly that
Yeah,
they need things different. So we'll see. Maybe this is their rally cry. If you look at the current standings, let's take a look. They are pretty much in the 7th seed. They are tied with Philly. They would play Philly in that first thing.
yeah,
They are a
playing.
game and a half behind Indiana for the 6th, which is the not to avoid the play-in.
Yeah,
Obviously, like from last year, they don't care because
yeah,
they
they really
started in
don't care.
last year.
You get them in the
Um,
playoffs, they're gonna be dangerous, just like they always
right.
are. So, and hopefully we get some people back like you guys. You got to be healthy,
Yeah.
man. Like we always talk about it. It's not about being the best. It's about being the healthiest at the end.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because it's all these guys are superstars, and it's getting
Oh
more and
yeah.
more years that these players are getting more and more together and playing. Like we're getting to the degree of basketball where your big threes. There's so many big threes now that like every team is capable of winning a championship together. You know what I mean? As long as you're
Right.
healthy. You know what I mean? Like there's been so many
Everybody,
times.
all the top teams have at least 3 players.
Yeah,
That are really good. They have
yeah,
2 probably good all-star type guys, and then their third is like a just below all-star caliber or
yeah,
like a super good role player. You know what I mean?
yeah.
But they have to be healthy.
They have to be
What's
healthy.
interesting about the Knicks is they're playing really well right now, even though they're missing a couple of key guys. I don't think that Randall will be back for the playoffs 100%. I think if he does come back, it's not going to be the normal that the Knicks fans are used to. He's not going to be playing 48 minutes or 40 minutes. He's probably going to play 20 minutes. Hopefully he can give us something. But at the end of the day, they'll still be competitive, and it's going to be looking to see interesting matchups as of right now. We are technically a half a game ahead of Orlando, same record. So it looks like we could be. I know everyone's looking up in this 3 games behind Milwaukee for number 2, and we're only a game behind Cleveland for number 3. So we could potentially strength of schedule. We do have quite a few games against some really good teams. Like
Yeah,
we played the Bulls once all year, and we played them 3 times in the last 2 weeks.
yeah,
Now the Bulls are not good, but they are considered a playoff team. And like
yeah,
if you play a team 3 straight times, like unless you're like really at the bottom of the, it's not easy to beat a team 3 times. So
no,
times in a row. So whatever. We'll see how it plays out. We got 12 games left. And that's really about it. Before we get too much into that, that's our NBA and NHL. Uh, Morgan is here, so we
I
want
am.
to talk about the race today, right?
yep. It's race
Yeah.
car, and
So
I'm sorry. Before I blow you up, Morgan, I have to
yeah,
be
go
like,
ahead.
I am so mad at myself. I bet that all like you weren't here last week, right? Last week you weren't here.
Yeah, I had a respiratory thing.
Yeah, yeah. So we literally, I don't bet on this guy, and then he fucking wins. Who won last week? Who won?
Uh,
Danny
Byron, I
Hamlin.
think.
Was it
Denny Hamlin, yeah, that's who it
Yeah,
was.
the week before that, I put money on
Yep.
Danny Hamlin, and then this
Oh man.
motherfucker loses. And then this week, I don't put money on him, and he fucking
Yep.
wins, and I fucking knew
I
it.
didn't I
Fucking
didn't see him winning. Bristol's not a strong track for him. No one saw the tires falling off like they did. Like that was an incredible race.
Yeah.
Like
I was watching that.
yeah, so
I did fall
uh
asleep during like I think the third quarter of the race, but
Yeah,
then I
that's
got
why I
Yeah.
wanted to start off with that before you got into this week. I wanted to bring back last week since you weren't here and tell me
Yeah.
about that and what. Okay, and I want to know one more thing about last week is T.Y.
All
Gibbs.
right.
That was the young kid, right? That's the young
Yeah,
kid.
Ty Gibb.
He was
Yeah,
gonna win. He was gonna win. He was leading the whole
he
the
was.
whole race.
He used up his tires.
You see, that's what I
He
wanted to
pushed
know.
too hard.
Yep,
He pushed too hard. He lost his grip. You lose your grip. You can't go as fast in the corners.
yep,
And with the track that small, it's almost 100% corners. So he fell off.
yep. Okay, I didn't know if he
Yeah.
pitted early. I wanted to ask because I wasn't watching the whole race, but I was watching him
Right.
because I was like, oh,
So what had happened was, uh, for a while since they came out with this new the next gen car they call it
Yeah.
back in 2022, they haven't the on track product at these short tracks has been really boring.
yeah,
Um, so they're like, how can we make it more competitive? How can we make it more fun to watch? They went to
Yeah.
Goodyear. They said, hey, do some tests, figure out a different compound, see if you can make tire wear factor. I think they got it because those tires were only lasting like 30 laps. They
wow.
only had like 9 sets of tires to start with. And they had to go 500 laps with them. So it, like even halfway through the race,
True. Okay.
NASCAR race control was like, hey, send your rims to the shop. We're gonna put some more tires on it and try and get every team an extra set just because they were falling off so much.
Yeah.
That's one of the most fun races I've seen in a while.
Okay, so that's what I want to know. I didn't want to go jump right into the new week because you weren't here for last week and then like stuff like
Right.
that. So I wanted to talk about that. But yeah, that is crazy that like they're like, hey, we're gonna start because like John's always talking about is like once a small track comes and there's not enough like demolition and like accidents because of how
Yeah.
close they are, then it just becomes like, hey, maybe you'll win, maybe you won't because there's no
Yeah.
draft, there's nothing for you to get into the way to crash yourself into anybody to make it to a race. But if you have
Yeah.
to pit a lot, then it makes it more fun because it becomes down to strategy. You know what I mean? Like, hey,
Yep.
we're gonna have to pit now. That's why, like, hey, you used your tires. I'm sorry, you should have been slowed down here. But you're like, well, I want to
Yep.
fucking win. But like, I don't. So, but like, and one more thing, if
Yep.
you win the stages, does that qualify you for the playoffs or no? You have to win the
So-
race.
So
You
it's a
have to-
bunch of things, right? It's like if you, right, if I'm right, like if you lead a certain amount of, like even if you don't, if you're leading for a certain amount of laps, that goes towards your points, right?
It used to.
Okay.
Oh, it doesn't anymore.
So, it might get you 5 bonus points. I haven't checked on that in a while. So, the way the stages work, each race has 2 stages and then the finish.
Yeah.
At the end of each stage, 1st through 10th gets points for their season standing.
Yeah.
First place gets 10, it counts backwards, and then first place only gets 1 point towards their playoff standings.
Oh, okay.
Should they make the playoffs. If you win a race, you're in the playoffs.
No matter what.
So far, yes.
Okay.
There's only 16 spots. We just haven't had a season with more than 16 winners.
Okay.
More than 16 different winners.
Yeah.
If we got to that point, it would go by point standings.
Okay. So once you make
and-
a win, then they kind of just write your name in the playoff bubble, and if it happens,
Yeah, it's a win in your in system.
okay. Okay, just want to know.
And then if there's not enough winners, then they fill out the last spots by
Points.
drivers with no wins points order.
Okay. So you still have
So
a
that's-
chance, even if you come in
Yeah,
third
you
and
still
second.
have a chance.
Okay. Damn, that's so crazy that like there's 30-something drivers, and you're saying that normally that the guys that win usually continuously win. So it's like, oh,
Yeah.
if it's gonna be Joey Logano or it's gonna be Dan, what the fuck, can't say his name in my head now. Danny Hamlin.
Danny
I don't
Hamlin.
know what the hell I was stuck on repeat. Or like those guys, or Martin Trucks, like
Yeah, Martin Truex.
yeah, Truex.
He's on his way out. He's 1 or 2 years away from retiring.
He's good though.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's crazy. That's crazy to know that like it's like, hey, you're good, you're gonna win. So,
Yeah.
and the good thing is if they already won, then they're like already like, okay, I'm just gonna be driving now to contain points, and if I win, I win. But I would like to win. But
Well, it's interesting because we visit tracks multiple times.
yeah,
Like, let's say someone wins on a track that like they win already, so they're in the playoffs,
yeah,
and then they go to a track in the regular season that they're gonna go to in the
the
in the
playoffs.
playoffs.
Yeah,
They since they have their win, they can use that first race as like research time and try different things out with the car and try
yeah,
and like
yeah.
figure stuff out for when it like really matters later in
Because
the
right
year.
now, like if you win early, like if you win the first race of the season, like at Daytona, and you're in already,
Yeah.
then like you just look at the schedule, like, hey, we're gonna race here. Well, okay, well we're gonna
Yep.
do this on the track because we're already in pretty much, and we're gonna race here. Let's wait, we might come in 15th, but we tried something that was dangerous, but we already
Yeah, we
know we're
got
good.
data.
Yeah, so yeah, that's a smart thing to do. Yeah, that's what I want to start talking about. I want to get in depth with NASCAR because I have no idea what anything is. Like I always say in every episode that we talk about NASCAR, like I don't know the races. I know how to drive fast and I know how to drive to a degree, but I would need that guy in my ear saying, "Hey, what's your gauges at? What's your tires feel like?"
Yeah.
So that I would go
Yep.
because I don't want to make that pressure call because I'm going to tell you, hey, because I know I was like watching when I had Joey Logano as my like bet. I was like, he's like,
Yeah.
oh, my tires are shaking, and he's like, well, that's the track already. Like, you're gonna feel that the whole
Yeah.
track. So I'm like, oh, of course, he's gonna be fucking thinking. But yeah, man, that's gonna be fun. Who were they at today?
They're at Circuit of the Americas in Austin. It's our first road course on the schedule.
This is going to be interesting. You know, I've been to Austin. I don't remember seeing a racetrack, but it's not an actual track. It's the streets, right?
No, it's like a F1 style like
But it's
it's a
pre-built.
purpose-built race course.
Okay.
So if you could bring it up like you brought it up for me earlier, this is pretty neat. It's not like a round track. It's literally like
Should have it here. Give me a second.
there you
Oh
go.
wow.
Look at that. It's not a round track.
Got flipped. Hold on.
Okay.
Kind of looks like an old medieval weapon axe because like that's the handle and like that's
Yeah,
you
it
know.
does. It kind of looks like the
Like
backwards
think
of
about
the
that.
axe.
You just like
They have T.Y. Gibbs as the favorite for this track.
Let me get this looking better for you.
Okay, that's what it's supposed to look like. Yeah, that's normal. Okay. Oh, we're
It's a bit
getting it.
squished, but there you go.
Yeah, there you go. Okay.
Yeah, so there's a lot of things about this track that are interesting. So it's three and a half miles long nearly. It takes about 2.5 minutes per lap. You can see down here near the bottom, on the bottom left, there's where the start finish line is, and then turn one, um, you're going uphill while you're on the brakes into what is nearly a U-turn. So on the restarts, they go like 6 or 7 wide there, like they did at Phoenix at the dog. Like they get really wide there.
yeah.
And then turns 4 through 7, if you cut the corner too much, you can actually get penalized and have to do a pass-through penalty on pit road and just like go through the pit lane without stopping to serve your penalty.
Wow.
So
wait,
drivers have
why do you get a penalty for
for
cutting it?
cutting the corner, like running off of track limits.
And they make you go
Oh,
through,
boundaries.
and they
So
make
there's
Yeah.
boundaries.
yeah,
They have
yeah,
to stay within.
wow.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
And they make
but
you go
that's
through the pit so that it slows
yeah,
you down because you have to go the
right.
speed
You have
limit
to
of the
serve.
pit. Yeah.
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 But that's only turns 4, 5, 6, and 7.
Yeah.
Because if they cut those, they can almost do it in a straight line, and NASCAR doesn't want that because one, it's dangerous, and two, it's too much of an advantage. So they just say no one can do it just to keep it fair.
Yeah.
Outside of that, they can cut as much of the corners as they want to get as much time as they need to. Obviously, you don't want to do too much. You're driving in the grass,
Yeah.
but turn 8 and turn 9, you'll see them have like their two wheels almost in the dirt, like taking these corners.
Nice.
Yeah.
Dude,
All right, so this should be a fun race.
you know how many games
Yep.
I played, race car games I played, once you touch that grass, how freaking slippery it is?
Oh yeah, and they'll hit the grass and like it'll kick dirt up onto the track like in the
Oh.
outer area, so then you really have to hit it right or you're going around.
Yeah.
So who
The-
won it last year?
Um Ask me a different question while I look that up.
Who do you have this year?
I'm biased this year. So road courses in NASCAR are one of the ways they'll bring in like outside talent to try and like
Win.
grow the sport internationally. To that effect, they have Shane Van Gisbergen racing. He's the guy from New Zealand that came into Chicago last year and just whooped everyone's ass and won the whole
Oh
thing
yeah,
in his
there he
first
is.
race ever.
Yeah, he's there. He's in
Um,
the game. He's in the Hard Rock app. As
Yeah.
yeah,
1100. He's got pretty good odds actually. 1100's not bad.
he was fourth quickest in practice. He nearly won the Xfinity race yesterday. Um, and like road racing, like these kinds of tracks are what he raced over in Australia in the
Yeah.
Supercar series. So he's going to be a favorite. I'm pulling for him just because he's like, I was talking to John earlier. He has golden retriever energy when he's like in interviews and stuff. So like, he's like, yeah, this happened and I didn't quite know what I was doing, but I'm learning and I just had a lot of fun, And he's like always smiling in his interviews, and I just love his
So we should
personality
we
for
should
it.
put, we should put $5 on Shane Van Gisberger.
Maybe. I don't know, because Kyle Larson's also going to be a threat. His odds are probably up there, and he did win the Xfinity race yesterday.
Kyle Larson is right below him.
And then probably AJ Allmendinger right below that, if I had to guess. Maybe a couple
AJ,
below.
yeah, a couple
Allmendinger
below.
is-
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
I'm
all
25.
three of them have a great chance at winning this.
All right, I'm gonna go. You said Kyle
Um,
Lawson won.
He won the Xfinity race yesterday. Last year it was Tyler Reddick that won. He's going to be he's got a chance at it. I'd say Alex Bowman, probably a sleeper hit, as is Ross Chastain. Those guys have a really good grip on the road courses. Corey LaJoie looked really good in qualifying, but I don't know if he has enough to get it done today. So that's what I'm looking at for this track.
Who did
So
you
you said-
say?
Van Ginsberg, right?
Oh, Corey LaJoie.
And
Shane Van Gisbergen, AJ Allmendinger, and Kyle Larson are probably the three I would say are most likely.
So if I put all three of them in the top three and win,
Don't do that. That's not. I can tell you that's probably not going to happen, just because they're probably going to be racing each other and beating and banging on each other. And with the way this course is laid out, if you look at it, that last corner is like a 90
I'm gonna do
degree
Kyle
turn.
Larson since he won this track already, right? He played.
Yeah,
he did-
he's good at road circuits. He's
Yeah.
another driver that can pretty much win in anything you
All
put
right,
him
I
in.
bet him.
But he showed speed in qualifying. He was showing speed and won the Xfinity race yesterday.
okay.
Awesome.
Well, we got our picks in. You know?
Yep.
Who did you bet on?
I bet on Shane Van Ginsberg.
Yeah.
That. I figured I'd put 3 bets in for people to win. I bet
Okay.
a total of $20. I put $10 on Van Ginsberg. I put $5 on Chastain because you said him, and then I put
Yeah.
$5 on Almendinger. So $20. If one of them wins, I pull that money back.
Oh, yeah, easy.
Van
There you go.
Ginsberg is a $120 payout.
Yeah, I got-
Almendinger is a $120 payout, and
Yeah, there.
Chastain's an $85 payout.
Yeah, it's
so
nice.
if any of those 3 win, I win.
Yep.
We were talking about people about strategies yesterday. I was talking to a few people at work, and they were saying this one guy came down, this big X car, whatever. He spent he bet every underdog in the first round of the
Yeah.
NCAA tournament, and he even though he lost more games because of the odds. He finished ahead in the money.
Yeah, that's what one of
You
my
know?
friends just did on. He said I'm making a killing right now on betting the underdogs right now in
Yeah,
this tournament
because some of them are like 10-1. So like
yeah,
Yeah.
you know what? So like money wise, he ends up ahead. So that's
yeah,
pretty smart strategy for that. Maybe I'll have to incorporate that next year. Obviously, as it gets closer, the odds are gonna change. But
yeah.
you
You
know,
bet before they even talk about it. Even if you bet 5-10 bucks every game and you're like down like $1,000, but one of them hits, you could hit $1,000 on
yeah,
Yeah.
on one win.
right.
So it's like, okay, take that chance. Why not? Like if you have the funds to spend, why you could win one or two games and profit $1,000, without even really have to try anything. And then you could even bet another side bet where the winner wins, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yep.
But yeah, no. So it's NASCAR Sunday. We're gonna go. We got the track up there for you. Morgan's talking about everything. We brought in betting, but now we're back to NASCAR. All right. So what are these cars? What are their top ends right there? What's that? 11 to 12? What I can't really see the numbers.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's that max speed right there? What do they usually get up to?
So turn 11, they take that corner. Obviously, it's a slow corner because
Yeah.
it's a really sharp turn.
Yeah.
Um, they hit between 130 and 145 right before they have to hit the braking zone into turn 12, which they take around 40 because it's also a 90-degree corner.
Yeah. Okay.
Um, your major passing zones are going to be your corners at the end of the long straightaway, so your turn 12s, your turn 1, and your turn 11, if they can get close, is where you're going to see drivers like the first driver is defending, so they go in at a shallow angle. The other guy comes in wide and tries to do a crossover move. Um, the whole complex of turns from 12 to 19, they call it the stadium section. I don't recall why they do that. But that all those sharp corners, you're going to see a lot of people going for passes in there, and then especially the last lap of the race, turn 20, that final corner, you're going to see guys get pushed out of the way.
Hmm.
Because
Yeah.
listen, you want to win the race, you can bump the guy like in front of you and take one corner and win. You're going to do it. The other guy
Yeah.
might be mad at you, but you have a win and you're in the playoffs now.
Yeah. For
Yeah.
sure.
You know?
How many racers on this track today?
We've got, I believe, 35 or 36 for this race.
Wow, that's a lot of racers on this track.
It
Um,
is
yeah, that's very. What time is the race today?
3:30.
Yep, 3:30
Three
on
thirty.
Fox.
3:30. Always three
Which,
thirty. Put that shit
yeah,
at
they
12.
like to do
Put it at
3 and
12.
3:30.
I like 12. Get it
12
like.
would be nice, but then it's like 9 a.m. for the West Coast.
Okay. Do they ever do 12 on the East Coast, or is it always 3:30 no matter where they're at?
I think the networks want them to do it at 3:30, honestly.
Yeah, I think so because I'm like, what the fuck, man? I like 3:30 is just such a weird time. Like,
Yeah.
it's like
Well,
I'm
honestly, like they say it's at 3:30, but they don't actually take the green flag until like 4.
Yeah. So it's 4 p.m. I got work or something tomorrow on Monday. And do you know what NASCAR is all about? Commercials and drinking alcohol, beer,
Hmm.
whatever. So you got me drinking at 4. If you got me drinking at noon, then I got time to recover at nighttime. But no, you got me drinking at 4 p.m. to start the race. And then I'm like, oh, by 9 o'clock it's over. And I'm like, holy fuck, I just been drinking for 5 hours. So it's
Yep.
Hmm.
like it's like okay, now I gotta go to bed and wake up tomorrow morning with a hangover
Just
instead
start
of
drinking earlier.
yeah, right. I'll just start
It's
looking at. I'll
actually
just watch a lot of commercials on YouTube and just pretend that's the race.
there you
But
go. There's 39 in this race. I was off by
oh,
1.
wow, 39 racers. It's a lot.
Yep.
And it's how many laps?
It's going to be 68 laps, which doesn't sound like a lot, but each lap is like 2.5 minutes because it's such a long track.
Yeah, so it's 68 laps. Damn, that is
Yeah.
that does sound like a
Well,
shorter race. So 2 times 6 is so it's like 2 times 8 is 16, 6, and then two. I don't know, 128 minutes, something like that.
yeah. One of the benefits of road courses, though, is like normally on an oval, if you get one car that spins, you kind of have to throw the caution flag because they're going to be right on top of it again.
Yeah.
Um, with this circuit being so large, if a car spins, they can do a localized yellow, so the whole race doesn't stop. Everyone keeps going. It's just, it gives the car, they have time to get their car going again and get out of the way.
Yeah, that's good. That's good.
As long as there's not like debris or like oil on the track or anything.
Yeah, so it's a more yeah, because if you're racing in Daytona and one car spills itself onto the sorry, if one car hits each other, it's gonna be taking out 15, 16 cars. That's why we love it so much.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
This race is going to be fun to watch just because you're going to see these drivers pushing these cars to their limits.
The
Yeah.
funny
Like
thing about this is, I'm probably going to be watching this race and how they take turns and that, and it's going to be like, oh, that's how I go to the grocery store. Like,
There you go. I could do this turn.
same
You call
speed. Sometimes the roads are out there
right.
finding. I'm like, I mean,
This
this is
isn't a
cool.
race. They're looking for parking.
Yeah.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, no, for sure. It's gonna be. I'm gonna watch it 3:30. I'm gonna put it on. It doesn't seem like it's gonna be a long race anyway because, like you said, 68 laps with 2.5 minutes. It's gonna be like an hour. It's gonna be what, about 2 hours long, 2.5 hour long race.
2 to 3, yeah.
Yeah. So it's just gonna be like go go go. I want to watch some of these cars hit that grass, spit out of control, and then maybe I can cash out a dub. I haven't won a bet in a long time, so I need to win.
Hey, maybe
I
this is
won
your
a bet
week.
yesterday and then made a stupid bet and lost it all.
Yep,
Because
that's normal.
well, what happened was I the injury report said Jason Tatum went to play last night.
Yeah.
So they had it available for him to. So I put all his unders, and I bet like everything that I won. I bet like everything that I won, and then he did play, and so of course he fucking made at least a couple of them, so I lost, and I was pissed because it's like dude's hurt his ankle. It's like okay, so they're like, oh, he's a game time decision, but everybody else on the team wasn't playing, so I was like, all right. I'm like, Boston's pretty much locked up everything.
Yeah, I know.
Is like, why is he going to play? Why risk, further injury? And he fucking plays. And I'm like, you know what? Fuck you.
Yeah. I hope you
I
guys
just
get
you
eliminated.
know what? I actually used to like Tatum. Now
Yeah.
fuck you.
Oh,
He
fuck you.
probably has some sort of incentive.
Must
I think,
be because I got a friend on my Facebook and he's a Boston fan, and he's like, "Why is Tatum in this game? We're up like 25 points. Like, get him on the bench. Are you stupid?"
You know why? Because he wants his numbers up there. Because he wants to be the face of the league, and he wants to be MVP, and he wants to do all this other shit. So he's doing it for recognition. Like,
I don't know, man.
you
If
know,
I'm the coach, I'm not risking you for a fucking face
Right.
of the franchise.
So, like,
Well, I'm trying to win a
Once I saw he
championship.
was playing, I knew I was going to lose the bets.
Yeah.
And then I was like, I hope this motherfucker now tears his fucking ACL and fucking out for the year. Because it would serve him right. Because he had no business playing in that game.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And, like, whatever. I guess he got through it and they won. But literally, that game meant nothing to them.
Yeah.
They have an 11-game lead over the next place in the East. So
Is there even 11 games left?
Yeah, they have an 11-game lead over the second in the East.
Yeah.
So they've already they literally have already clinched the number 1 seed. So they can lose every game from now on, and they will still be the number 1 seed in the East. And they have a 5-game lead on the best team in the West for which would be home court throughout the entire playoffs. So literally, you have a 5-game lead over the Western Conference team. So there is no reason to play them on the second night of a back-to-back. Now, I know he didn't play the night before and this and that, but they do not need that. They need to win basically 5 more games with 11 left to clinch the number 1 seed throughout the whole playoffs. So are you going to wait to them to rest them and not do anything? Like, it doesn't make any goddamn sense.
Yeah.
So, yeah, no, like at certain points, season. So, you can kind of, get your team healthy. You know what I mean? Like, give him the day off. I mean, obviously, he was good enough to play. He played. He did, enough. But, I don't know if you're that locked in as far as like a number one seed, then I don't understand what the
So
you
if a
know.
player gets okay, so when I used to use Pick'em or whatever that shit was called, that one app, Prize Picks. When I used to use that, if they didn't play, they would just cancel your whole bet and give you your money back.
Yeah, that's what I figured was going to happen,
Yeah,
but he didn't.
yeah. So
He played.
if he doesn't
He
play,
played and he screwed me.
yeah,
Which is, like I said, again, it's okay. It is what it is.
you wish he would have just came out there and hurt himself a little bit and said, "I'm not playing anymore," and you would have had unders on everything,
Right.
and then you would have won because he would have came out as long as he starts the game.
All right. Then I would have made
Yeah,
about $2,000.
yeah,
Like if he came out for one play and
yeah.
then
That's
like
all. Yeah,
it's like, oh, I'm done.
yeah.
Like then I would have made like $2,000 because I
Yep.
did. I bet like $50 on him doing under, and I parlayed everything. But I knew the risk, so like I was more annoyed that he played than the fact that I
Yeah.
lost the money, because it really was house money, because I had done a parlay earlier with the Knicks and I won, so I won like $60. So I was
Yeah.
like, oh, okay, well, let me bet 10 on the Bulls to win, and the other 50 on this weird parlay.
Yeah.
And like whatever, he played, they lost, so I lost all the money, but I was ahead anyway, so I was literally like at one. I started the day out at 100. I was up to 160, and then I blew
So,
the
yeah.
60 that I won. So like
Yeah.
I'm not really that upset. Obviously I could have been up $60. So it would have been nicer. But it was worth the risk. It was like taking a $50 scratch off. Because I would have won like $2,000, and that would have been really, really nice. So
Yeah. You were just hoping
so
he
fuck
came out there and
fuck
played one
Jason
play.
Tatum for fucking my parlay up. Fuck Kevin Durant, because Kevin Durant, every time he's been under every single time. Like I'm just gonna bet. Like
Yeah.
he's not the same. I don't know if there's something wrong with him. Like I watched the game they played the other day where they lost Phoenix, and like it was a close game, and he didn't even touch the ball. And in the offensive, he just like they go up, he stands in the corner
Yeah.
and doesn't do anything. And I'm like, what the fuck?
I mean, can I stand in a corner for millions of dollars too?
Yeah, me
I
too.
would.
Yeah.
I can stand in a corner real good.
We all
Shit.
can. But yeah, I don't know, man.
Yeah,
Sometimes that
I don't know.
happens.
It's weird. Maybe come playoff time, it's going to be interesting. The West is kind of cool. Everybody's so close. I was kind of high on the Clippers, and now kind of feeling like they're going to lose in the first round because they're playing the Pelicans. The Pelicans are really good.
Yeah.
The Pelicans, but then again, like it's 2 weeks to go, and health is going to have a huge, huge impact. Last year I was high on the Clippers. Third game of playoffs, they were missing three of their best players. So,
Yeah.
like, we'll see how injuries tie into it. But you would when you analyze things when everybody's all healthy, I like the Pelicans. But
Yeah.
they are a younger team, but they're not a super young team like Oklahoma City. Everybody. Whereas, the Pelicans, you have like two guys that are young, and then you have like four guys that have been, in the league for years. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? You have a mixture of that. But, their top end talent is young, but they have enough veterans in important roles that, that helps. So we'll see. A couple weeks to go. It's going to be a lot of fun. I can't wait to start doing the shows. David, is this 48 episode, right?
Let me check. We're close to that for sure.
We got
This
to do
there's
something special in the
our
50,
lives
man.
our live series are different. Like I started counting
Oh,
differently
okay.
on our lives. So we have lives, and then we have
Other episodes.
we have other episodes. All right.
Oh, so we might even
We
be
are on
past 50.
episode, yeah, we're on 46 right now. This is going to be, so we have what, 4 more episodes to our 50. Cuz
All
this is
right,
going to
cool.
be our episode 6 of us live. So
Okay.
we have 6 episodes. We do what, 2 a week usually, so we only been doing it a couple
Yeah.
weeks, so cuz we do
We started
episode,
out doing like 4, but now it's just tough.
it's
But
tough.
2 weeks is fine, and I'm okay
Yeah.
with going live. We'll
Yeah.
we'll get it in. We'll be
Yeah, I'm
fine
gonna
next.
get us all. I'll get you guys' sizes. I'm gonna talk to my sister-in-law. I'm gonna get us all like if you guys want a shirt or a tank top or something. I'm gonna get us
Yeah.
all our logo
Yeah.
written on there. So Morgan's our first introduced of our new squad onto Butcher and the Beard. So he's our NASCAR guy. So eventually we'll get a people that are like into like hardcore basketball, football,
You
and
get
stuff like that, like we are.
specialists.
Yeah, and then we just
Get
go
a
live
golf
with them
guy,
on
a
those
tennis
days.
guy.
So on Sundays, Morgan's with us until football, because then football, like what's the names, then we can just bring Morgan with us when football. I mean, when football comes up, then he'll learn with us like we're learning with NASCAR.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So we'll just have Morgan as our third, our real introduced to the Butcher and the Beard. So welcome in, Morgan. You're officially with us
Thanks.
because
Hey, awesome. I love it.
yeah, we'll have you on Sundays with us for football and stuff, and we'll bring special guests, and then you can learn football with us, and we'll do that, and then eventually we'll just keep growing and growing and
Yeah.
growing. But yeah, I'll get you guys' size. Just text me, and I'll get them made because I want to get a tank top with the logo on it. So I just have to go to Fiverr and get us. It's one of the.
A
It's like
graphic tee.
well, no, yeah, the graphics thing for they like kind of like they have uh the whatever, and they make it so that
Etching.
so she can put it on the sewing machine, and then
Oh,
and
gotcha.
yeah, I can't remember what the hell the name is called that they had to do, but you have to
Oh
come
yeah.
you have to, yeah, she does the stitching, but she has to get a guy to program it so that she can USB it,
Right. Like
and
a
then
computer file.
yeah, the file it so that then the machine knows what the hell it's doing, which is crazy that someone has to like literally do that side
Yeah.
work so that I can't just throw it into the damn printer thing like, oh, here's the picture. But yeah, some guy just makes it perfect dimensions and shit like that, and then but yeah, we'll get that because I want a shirt because I like to wear it. I wear it every
Right.
every
I'd wear it
day.
places.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I'll get the
Speaking of
Wells Fargo
football,
magnet and I'll put it on my car.
there you
yeah,
go.
there you go. Well, we could do that anywhere. We could just send that to somebody. But I'm saying for the T-shirt, I don't want to
Yeah.
print one.
Yeah.
I like the stitched all my. I have a couple Wax Star shirts like that are stitched. But
Nice.
yeah, we go live. I like going live, and then so we'd like to be informative. There hasn't been a lot of stuff going on, but we're getting closer to the end. And the end's always the best with sports because it gets real. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Then you can start talking about stuff. But NASCAR's fun because it's Sunday and we're live, so
Yeah.
it makes it better. Soon we'll have people in here chatting with us, fucking with us,
Yep.
making sure that we have some fun. But yeah, man, it's always a pleasure. It's always a pleasure. Anything else you guys want to talk about?
UFL starts up next week. I know it's not NFL, but
Yeah, that's
I'm
cool.
gonna be watching that.
Yeah, it's on Saturdays.
I was looking it up. It looks like they're doing Saturday and Sunday,
Oh,
2 games each day.
wow.
Okay. That's interesting.
Yeah, I knew the UFL
Um,
was coming. I thought it was the end of March.
yeah, so looks like next week Saturday we've got the Birmingham Stallions playing the Arlington Renegades and the St. Louis Battlehawks against the Michigan Panthers.
Wow.
And then on Sunday, it's the other 4 teams, the DC Defenders versus the San
So
Antonio Brahmas,
they're
whatever that
playing
is.
they're playing on Easter Sunday.
Yeah, on ESPN.
Wow.
And then also the Memphis Showboats against the Houston Roughnecks. So I just want to watch it.
We'll definitely talk about it on Saturday morning or Saturday. Maybe we can go live during the game. What time does the game start on Saturday?
There's a 1 and a 4 on Saturday. Those are on Fox, and then there's a
So
12 and
John
a
doesn't
3 on
pick up
Sunday.
a
I'm
shift.
not picking up. I'm not picking up. Next weekend, I have a 3-day weekend.
Okay.
This week I had to switch because Tuesday I'm flying to New York for a day.
Okay.
Tuesday, Wednesday,
Okay.
so I'm gonna switch day off. I didn't want to use 2 vacation days. I just wanted to use one, so I switched the 2 days, and then I
Are
took
you getting tickets for the plane cheap? Like,
I did. Well, this one actually no. This one was a little more expensive, but it was my mom's birthday, so I figured I'd fly up for her birthday, we'll go to dinner,
nice.
and do whatever, and then
Yeah,
I got
man.
the Mother's Day weekend cheap, so
Yeah,
can't
no,
complain.
it's really
Nice.
it's a 2 hour I mean a 2 hour flight. It really isn't anything. By the time you're up in the air and you watch an episode or two of something or listen to something, you're already like they're like we're coming in for a landing. You're like, oh, okay, that's nice. That's
I
why I like
sleep on
those.
airplanes.
Yeah, I can't sleep.
That just puts me to sleep. I just like lean against, like I always get a window seat.
Yeah,
I'll just lean against the wall and pass out.
yeah, no,
I'm the same way in cars. I can't stay awake.
yeah, I literally fucking, I'm in the, like, I don't ever go anywhere close. Like, I always gotta fly somewhere stupid far, like California, where it's like 5 damn hours on the plane, and I'm like, ugh.
Yeah.
I like that because I did a layover one time in Texas, and went to the first time I ever been to Texas was on a plane, like, so I didn't even see Texas, and
Yeah.
I flew into Houston, and then I literally sat in the airport, and the flight was so fast. I'm like, damn, we're already here at Houston, but then to fly from Houston to California like 4 more hours. I'm like, you
Yeah.
motherfuckers. I'm like, dude, I wish I was just going to Houston. I would be here already.
Yeah.
You're like, dude. I watched like an episode on my phone. They're like, okay, we're be descending. I'm like, okay, that's what I'm talking about. Like, we're in and we're out. That's how it is,
Yeah.
man. But yeah, these people that
Yeah,
do
I've been on
fly,
some long flights.
yeah,
I
man.
think 9 hours was the longest
Yeah,
going
that's
from Seattle to New York.
dude. And I'm like, it's like, holy shit. But if you drove there, it'd take you 4 fucking days.
Right.
So you're like, okay, 9 hours or 4 days driving, and I hate. We drove to San Antonio, Texas, and it was 17 hours, and oh my god, that shit was rough.
Yeah.
17
And then
straight
it
hours in the car. Oh,
takes like 10 just to get across Texas.
yeah,
Yeah.
not fun. I don't want to drive. I hate driving to my local market. You know what I mean, like to Walmart or something. Like, oh god, this is terrible. It is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
But we appreciate you guys. We love you all. Thank you guys for supporting
Yeah,
us.
thanks for coming out.
And we got your NASCAR picks in. We got your NASCAR everything on Sunday. So we do appreciate you. And you guys have a fantastic day. We'll see you on Tuesday. Tell 'em we're
Probably. Yep.
out. Probably. Maybe. We'll see. And
Yeah.
we're out.